Welcome. In this video we're going to be discussing the DMI indicator, or the Directional Movement Index. The DMI indicator is a little more complex than most of the other indicators in the Apollo Stock Manager software. Therefore, we're going to refer you to the Help section to see how this is calculated. To do this, simply click on the question mark up in the upper right corner. This screen pops up. We'll type in DMI into the Topics section and search, and we'll list the topics. Click on DMI, and we see the information on how this indicator is calculated. It is good practice as a trader or an investor to know how your indicators work, so we'd suggest that you read through this information to gain an understanding of how the DMI indicator is calculated. We'll click on the X up here and return to the stock screen. To enable the DMI indicator, we first go here. We click on this. We'll set up a new strategy by clicking here. We select the DMI indicator, click on the down arrow to move it into the graph, and then we'll save it under a new name. We'll call this new strategy the DMI strategy. We save and exit. Having done that, we now see the DMI indicator down in the lower portion of the graph. In order to see how the DMI indicator performs relative to the other indicator, the MACD that we're looking at, we'll click here. We'll bring the DMI strategy over into our display by clicking there. We'll turn off the transaction number, the date, and the signal, leaving only the profitability. This shows how our screen will look down here. We click OK. Let's zoom in to a portion of the graph to show you just exactly how to interpret the many lines down here on the DMI indicator. To zoom in, we simply click and drag a box, and there we're zoomed in. We also want to expand this down here. To expand this, we simply get the double arrow, drag it up, so we expand the graph here so we can see more precisely what's going on with the DMI indicator. There are four key things on the DMI indicator: the green line, which is the plus DI, the red line, which is the minus DI, the blue line, which is the ADX, and the trend line here in purple. A signal is generated when two things are happening at the same time. One, the green line has to move above the red line, and the blue line has to be above the purple line. You can see that that occurs in this point right here, and a signal is generated. A sell signal is generated when the plus DI line, the green line, drops below the minus DI line, the red line. Sell signals can also be generated when the plus DI line, the green line, is above the overbought line here, this blue line, and is falling. You can see here that it's falling and it's above the overbought line, and we get a signal here. Again, same thing here. It's above the overbought line and falling, and a sell signal is generated here. Now that we have a basic understanding of the signal generation, let's look at the parameters. To see the parameters, we can look here, 9, 9, 70, and 30, and we can click here to adjust them. The 9 is the number of periods that the DMI is calculated over, generating the plus DI line and the minus DI line, and the ADX period, also 9, which generates the blue line. The oversold level is at 70%, and the trend level is at 30%. Because the price action over time is different for every stock or index, it's important that the user adjusts these parameters to optimize the performance of the indicator for that particular stock. We'll close this now, and let's take a look at our performance. We can see that there are stocks where this particular indicator performs very well. DLF Limited, it provides us with a 22.9% increase, where buy and hold results in a 36% loss, and the MACD indicator also gives us a 32% loss. Also on ONGC, this indicator also works well. Let's take a look at it. We can see that this indicator gets us in at good times and out prior to experiencing large losses. In particular, these areas here provide us most of the profit that we're seeing in this 2-year period. For some stocks, this indicator only performs marginally. For instance, on CIPLA Limited, it only generates a 5.1% profit, where buy and hold generates 19%. Let's take a look at it. This stock is quite choppy and does not move significantly in price action over time. With a stock like this, if we were going to use the DMI indicator, we'd want to optimize those settings. The DMI indicator is a powerful one and can help you greatly in your trading. This concludes our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Visit us on the web at www.apollostockmanager.com.